So as like a scientist, a reasonably skilled amateur scientist, I would say, um, got a whole lot of books on physics and chemistry and stuff right there. And as an American, I feel particularly entitled to state an observation that I have about the um, urban wildfires that are ravaging California. So number one, I've never seen as many houses go up quite like this. It's literally a prairie fire, but it's homes. And then you see other homes, and they're totally untouched. And I believe that this riddle is pretty easy to solve. Um, my wife, she was a clerk at a paint store. Um, this is a weird way to go, but one of the things that we live in Massachusetts, one of the things that we always kind of marvel at are policies that happen in California always end up happening in Massachusetts eventually. But one of those policies that hadn't really trickled through was all of these environmental regulations regarding latex paints. And basically, Massachusetts has a lot of inclement weather. And so, there's just straight inclement. Like, it's not great. When it's pretty, but getting to the pretty days, like there's a lot of nasty weather, a lot of corrosive weather. Well, in modern paints, there are a lot of fire retardants, and those aren't really nice chemicals. Now, why they aren't nice chemicals is I could explain, but no fire retardant is going to be particularly friendly unless it's a natural fire retardant, and even then, like, rock is a natural fire retardant, right? Like, it's not super buildable, like, for your average person. So modern paints do all of this stuff. They're supposed to have fire retardants in them. They're supposed to push moisture away to keep the wood dry and healthy. Properly painted wood kind of almost lasts like indefinitely. Like, literally, like properly treated wood and then painted and cared for pretty much lasts indefinitely. To the same thing with, there are certain water mains in this country are 200 years old, and they're actually made of oak trunks and leather and buried, and they still perform their service. They do need to be replaced, and we're in the process of replacing them. But it just to the testament of wood, it can last and have structural integrity like almost indefinitely if it's properly cared for. So what the fuck does paint have to do with this? Well, California banned, outlawed, regulated out all of these classes of fire retardants. They said you can't have them anymore because they cause cancer. Producing them is bad. Blah 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 blah. And they're you know what? To wit, all of those things are kind of true. But so if you want to, so they got rid of mineral based paint, which obviously is quite flammable, but like in certain ways it can last longer. Um, they got rid of that, so blah 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 blah. Then there was the latex paints, and for a while that was okay, but then they took the fire retardants out of them. Now, not all latex paint is latex, and latex itself is a natural thing, and there's not enough natural plants in the world to produce the amount of latex gum that, sorry, like Ben Moore and everybody else would need to service everybody that wants a painted house. There are all these different tranches of latex paint, with the lowest being what my wife lovingly called Playtex, which is just like, it's not really real latex paint. Like, it does the thing, but it's mainly plastic. Now, me having a background in material science, among other things, I went. I was talking to her about this morning. The light bulb went off. I went, oh my god, these weird embers that are happening in California. Whether or not arson's going on additionally is besides this point. The fucking paint on all of these homes, a lot of them was not up to code, did not have the appropriate fire retardants in it, likely because they were just simply too damn expensive. Or, as we're now learning, potentially ineffective. And here's another thing about paint. All paints as a base contain titanium dioxide, which is ostensibly a whatever chemical, and you need to get it really hot before it's a huge problem. But once it gets really hot, a titanium fire is really fucking bad. And so what's happening at the temperatures that you're seeing evolve in these fires, you do have a partial titanium vapor plastic fire because of how the paints are reacting at the temperatures. Now, it's not every paint, it's not every house, and this is what I believe lends credence to my theory and why I'm saying this. Some of these homes are untouched. And it's not just because people were constantly dousing them and fighting through the smoke and all this stuff. No. Some of these people used the right paint or paid for the right paint with the correct fire retardants in it. The problem is that construction is so expensive that most of the new construction in California didn't have enough fire retardant in its paints. And that is what I'm clearly seeing. To me, there isn't, between the winds and everything else, it's a perfect storm. These homes are actually coated in effectively lighter fluid.